life for a minute. What are you? I just told you what I was. What are you? What are you is the question. Everywhere you go, you invade, steal, rape, rob, and kill us. Oh, really? Then you steal people's culture, then you have the nerve to have an attitude about it. Where's our reparations?
Anti-Black racism is not only happening in the United States, it's actually happening all across the globe. And what we need now, more than ever, is a human rights movement that challenges systemic racism in every single context.
Some white people may have to die.
You stick with that?
Yeah, I'm confused on why that's so controversial.
This anti-police rhetoric sweeping the country has turned out some hateful things inside of people that are now playing themselves out on the American police officer.
What is Black Lives Matter? To the average unsuspecting American, they have presented themselves as the enemies of liberty, enemies of private property, and enemies of the rule of law. The sway Black Lives Matter has over our country right now has become that of an occupying force.
And I pointed out, because I'd gone to the Black Lives Matter website, that they were Marxists. It looked like, that the planks came from the Communist Manifesto. They were talking about overthrowing the state. And at that time, I said that Black Lives Matter was a destructive force in our society, and it was a problem. And I caught a lot of grief for saying that. Now the founders of Black Lives Matter, they've come out as Marxists.
I also think that the first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
And Black Lives Matter is supported by forces that would like nothing more than to occupy the United States in some way, shape, or form. Soros's largely unchallenged social manipulation maneuvers via the Open Society Foundations engineers Black Lives Matter. As the Daily Caller wrote, one of the group's biggest donors is the Tides Foundation, a nonprofit funded by billionaire progressive philanthropist George Soros. Communist Hollywood propagandizing China supports Black Lives Matter. Silicon Valley and the United Nations support Black Lives Matter. And of course, sycophantic globalist corporate wannabe overlords support Black Lives Matter. And who can forget when the moronic Democrats paraded their pseudo-solidarity by unwittingly wearing the African scarves identified with a slave industry African nation, while the entertainment of the left celebrates Black Lives Matter only to face the facts once their beloved Hamilton is revealed to actually be a celebration of the very people they despise. Black Lives Matter is merely a successful catchphrase to strengthen the planks of communism that already exist in the United States in varying degrees. A violent, creeping political statement ignited by the Weather Underground's anti-imperialism prairie fire documents of the early 1970s, which has morphed into the Antifa and BLM of today. As the Gateway Pundit reported, violent domestic terrorist Bill Ayers is officially linked to Antifa through his group Refuse Fascism. Refuse Fascism, a fascist organization that wishes to inhibit and deny the speech of conservatives, is partly funded by George Soros. It has organizers like Bill Ayers, and it is targeting youth across the country with the intention of indoctrinating and brainwashing individuals who nascent politically. Though it arrived with hushed overtones from the leftist media rather than a bold announcement, Black Lives Matter revealed their ridiculous demands, and it reads like a modern-day Weather Underground communist takeover. Judge this movement by its fruit, a tree rooted in treason, withering with death and hate. John Bound reporting.